let's start with the NFL, and as we wait, and wait some more, and there's pictures of Aaron Rodgers on a beach, listening to music, staring into the abyss, as he tries to make a decision on whether it's the Giants or whether it's the Pittsburgh Steelers or maybe it's the Minnesota Vikings coming in from the top rope, and they end up being the apple of his eye at some point in time. And if you go on the idea, according to reports, that money is not a factor, it's really what Rodgers has to make a decision on now, where exactly he wants to go. You say to yourself, well, what exactly does Aaron Rodgers want? What exactly does Aaron Rodgers want to do at this stage after the 2 disastrous years with the Jets? And really one, this past season, where it couldn't have gone more wrong, where Woody, his sons, the Bobs, and everyone down in Florham Park decided to get involved. They were poorly coached. We talked about it at the time, Robert Saleh and his coaching staff. Olbrich steps in as the interim head coach. They fire the general manager and Joe Douglas, and then they do this extensive head coaching and GM search, and they end up with Darren Muji from Denver and Aaron Glenn, the former Jet and former defensive coordinator with the Detroit Lions. But this past season couldn't have gone worse, right, for the New York Jets. And I said at the time, like if Rodgers, and those that know him, and I don't know Aaron Rodgers from a hole in the wall, but those that know Aaron Rodgers will tell you, as he does his weekly appearances on Pat McAfee, that basically football is his life. He loves the competition, loves the sport, eats it, lives it, breathes it. He might tell you and distract you with other things like ayahuasca and going out there in darkness retreats and doing stuff in Costa Rica, whatever it might be, that Aaron Rodgers takes it away. And I understand he might not be the most likable guy in the world, but Aaron Rodgers obviously is one of the great quarterbacks that the National Football League has ever seen. And as much as he has given this sport, he loves and adores this sport. So you say to yourself, well, what exactly is the decision now? As you're seeing, the negotiating phase open up on Monday, right around, high noon, and everything open up, and, guys signing left and right before, the official new league year began in the National Football League. You knew Rodgers, and the Jets were going to get rid of him 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. They made the statement, thanked them, sent out the social media post, everything that teams do when they get rid of a veteran player, even a guy that, spent 2 years with an organization. And the Jets did that. So what exactly is Rodgers waiting on? As everybody has sided left, well, what is Aaron waiting on? When is he going to make this decision? How long is it going to take? And there's a couple ways to look at it. Number one is this. I wholeheartedly believe you don't get into the extensive talks that he's had with the Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers if you don't intend to play. So the whole idea of Aaron Rodgers making the decision of whether or not he wants to go out there and commit to play in the National Football League again, to me, goes out the window. I think Aaron Rodgers wants to play. I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants the last time we see him on the field is with the pitiful New York Jets as they end up with the 7th overall draft choice, and that's how you remember Aaron Rodgers. He's got a little pride. We all do, right? So put that out the window. Now, the other aspect of it, well, what would make him choose the Giants over the Steelers? If Rodgers wants to win, what would make him choose the Giants over the Steelers? Why Big Blue? Pittsburgh, obviously, they're a quarterback conceivably away. Yes, they lost Najee Harris in free agency. They added DK Metcalf. George Pickens can fly off the handle at any given time, and maybe his future with the Pittsburgh Steelers and his days are numbered. Freiermuth, good tight end. They've got to improve that offensive line, but that defense led by Watt can go out there and play. Very difficult division. Put the Browns on the outside, but still, you've got Burrow and the Bengals, and you got Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens. Very difficult division, but still, it's a Hall of Fame head coach in Mike Tomlin that understands the culture of what it is to be a Pittsburgh Steelers. Is it a prototypical type of quarterback when you're looking at Mike Tomlin? Probably not, especially at this stage. No maneuverability. Obviously, the Achilles injury has affected that. You're going to have to build up that offensive line. And Rodgers, at this stage of his career, is more of a pure pocket passer than anything else. But still, it's Tomlin, it's the Steelers, it's the culture of winning, it's the head of the nonsense, Arthur Smith, and the offense, all those things that you get there in Pittsburgh, right? I mean, the Steelers had themselves a winning season this past year, and they had Fields and Russell Wilson at quarterback. Now you get to the Giants. What can help the Giants? Well, you can't make the argument that the Giants are a win-now situation. You could make the argument that, what has been, a cornerstone franchise for the National Football League. Proud franchise, dating back to the days of Wellington Mara. Obviously now you've got Tish and John Mara's the co-owner of the New York Giants. A proud franchise. They've won Super Bowls in the past. You can get them back to some sort of relevancy. You can build them up. The area that would motivate to me, which I would really push home if I'm the Giants, if money is not the factor, and all things being equal, right? I don't think Rodgers is in it for every single last dollar and dime at this point in time. The thing that will help the Giants is this. Stick it to Woody. That would help the Giants. I mean, you go to Pittsburgh and you play with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and proud franchise, you trust it a little bit more than Shane and Daboll. There's no real debate and argument there. The consistent winning, even though they have not won a Super Bowl, they've gone out there and, even in bad years, they find themselves finishing above 500, right? They don't really bottom out. Tomlin is a great guy, a great motivator, great of getting a lot out of a little in certain aspects, in certain phases. What can help the Giants is this. You want to stick it to the Jets? You want to stick it to Woody Johnson, the meddling owner that got in the way last year? The organization that wanted to make it be known to everybody out there that basically you begged to come back? That no matter what you said, they had made the decision that they did not want to move forward with you? Then do it in the same marketplace that made that decision for you. Because you wanted to be a New York Jet. They said thanks, but no thanks. And the competitive nature of a guy like Rodgers, and you're talking about elite level athletes, right? Guys that going out there and compete. You got to go out there and have that heartbeat if you're going to be as great as a guy like Rodgers has been at his position, right? Want to go out there and take your heart. Everybody's personality a little bit different, but you get the point. That's the thing that can help the Giants here, is Woody's ineptitude with the Jets. The fact that the Jets wanted to tell everybody that they made the choice. Rodgers wanted to come back, but we decided thanks, but no thanks. We don't want a diva quarterback. We want to set a new brand, a new culture, what it means to be a New York Jet. A quarterback is just part of the 53 moving forward, till it isn't. And we'll get to Fields a little bit later on in the program. That can help the Giants. And as Rodgers goes out there, walks the beach out in California, listen to music, or maybe he's listening to a podcast. Maybe he's listening to, I have no idea what Rodgers is listening to. He's got the hoodie on, staring out into the abyss, the beautiful sunset out there on the West Coast, all those things. And the pictures that matriculated out on social media yesterday, those are the things that Aaron Rodgers is thinking about. And those that get frustrated by the timing of it and say, well, make a decision. Time is now. You know what? It could be, I saw the Schrager report, it could be weeks, couple weeks, 3 weeks. Who knows? Nobody really knows. But Rodgers is going to go out there and take his time. Why? Well, for a couple of different reasons. Does he like the attention? For sure. Everybody likes the attention. Those that say they don't like the attention, that is complete and utter nonsense. So I'd imagine Rodgers does like the attention. But he also wants to make sure that whatever decision he makes is the correct one in his mind. And you know what? He has the leverage. Whether you like it or not, whether it bothers you or not, and you say, well, how does a 41, 42-year-old quarterback, who looked the way he did, played hurt at times this past year with the New York Jets, how exactly does Aaron Rodgers now exactly have the leverage? You know why? Because the other quarterbacks that are out on the marketplace, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, look at the other veteran quarterbacks that are out there. That's why Rodgers has the leverage. That's why the Giants aren't going to put pressure. That's why the Steelers aren't going to put pressure. And I get that Russell Wilson's in Cleveland today, going to be in New York tonight, going to visit with the Giants tomorrow. But the idea that the Giants are going to go out there and sign Russell Wilson to a certain extent, because to be perfectly honest with you, at this stage of his career, Russell Wilson is just a guy. The Giants, through their actions, have shown you. Actions, as my dad and mom used to tell me when I was growing up, actions speak louder than words. Don't listen to the words. Look at the actions. Look at the way that people behave. Look at that, because they'll spew nonsense to you. But in this instance with Joe Shane, he talked about being aggressive. He got the marching orders from the Giants co-owner John Mara after the season. Things have got to look a lot different in 2025. They went all in on Matthew Stafford to the point where Stafford and the Giants agreed to a contract. He decided to stay in Los Angeles. And now they've gone all in on Aaron Rodgers. And I get it. Because what does Rodgers brings? He brings some sort of relevancy. What does Rodgers bring with him? A capability of playing the position, even at his age, at a high level. Higher than DeVito, higher than Daniel Jones, higher than anybody that we've seen play the position for the Giants in quite some time. That's what Rodgers brings. So if you're the Giants, the last thing you're going to do here, as you look at the rest of the quarterback class and the veteran quarterbacks that are out there, the last thing you're going to do here is put pressure on Aaron Rodgers. The last thing, and I know you might be frustrated as a fan base, but Rodgers is going to take his damn time to go out there and make a choice. What works for the Steelers is this. You want to win? You want an opportunity to have a better team around you? Well, it's us. If you're the Giants, they've improved their roster in free agency. You like the corner they added. You like Holland, the safety that they added from the Miami Dolphins. You learn from your mistakes and how they handled Xavier McKinney the past offseason as he went to the Green Bay Packers and was an all-pro. So you learn from your mistakes, right? Don't compound the problem. Put your head in the sand and hope it goes away. The Giants went out there and addressed the problem. They've addressed the offensive line by adding a swing tackle, adding interior. They've done things here to improve this group today than they were last Thursday. But on top of all that, it's Daboll, it's Shane, it's the Giants, it's a proud franchise that's looking to get out of the darkness, and Rodgers can provide a little bit of light. And he can do it in the same marketplace as the Jets. That's the decision. Sometimes when people have emotions that come into play, you get motivated by it, right? You get ticked off. Someone tells you, well, you want to embarrass me? Well, then I'll go out there and I'll embarrass you. And as Rodgers walks the beach out there in California, and he thinks about, well, should it be the NFC North? Should it be the AFC North? Maybe the NFC East? Yes, I understand the Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champs. I get Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, they're completely and utterly lost. But still, it's the Cowboys. Put all that aside. It's New York. It's the Giants. And they play in the same building that told me that I wasn't good enough. And they went with Justin Fields. That's the motivator. That's the decision. And I think for the Giants, the big hand and the big card in the hand that they could play is bring up a picture of Woody wearing that diamond necklace, walking the sidelines before that Bills game a couple years ago. The ineptitude of Woody Johnson, the ineptitude of the Jets organization, and the way that they wanted to paint the narrative of you begging for your job in the end, that works for the Giants. 10:17. Malusis with you. It's a Thursday midday.